Hello folks, Sean Mize here, and today I am going to show you, we're going to download live an SEO plugin, and I'll tell you, we probably could have just skipped this step. It's not necessary. However, the key with having an SEO plugin will allow you to have posts that look like, you should be able to see this top bar on my screen. So we've got infoprofitdaily.com. So if we did not have an SEO packet on here, then we would have, in fact, I think I can show you one that I don't have it on. Okay, so I believe that if we click on this, so you see up here, it says blog / P equals 14. Okay, and there's some other things I think you can do in WordPress without using the SEO plugin. But what we want is to be able to have it so that instead of saying P equals 14, it says simplified method of information marketing business, for example. Okay, so that's why we want to use a plugin. So when we want to find a plugin, we can use Google or we can go to WordPress. So let's, just for an example here, let's go over to WordPress and let's find the plugins. Okay, and so you'll have categories of plugins. So you've got featured plugins. And so let's say we wanted let's see, an SEO plugin, then we might click on here and click search. Okay, so we've got a number of these, and you could kind of, I mean, you know, I can't say that any of these would necessarily be bad choices. They might all be good choices. So they're ranked with stars and that kind of thing, and so you could download those. I've already kind of chosen one that I plan to use here, and I think the easiest way to get to this would be the second way that you could search, and that would be just to use Google, and you could type in WordPress SEO plugin. Okay, and again, I want to be really clear that I don't believe there's necessarily good or bad when it comes to some of these plugins. I think that it's, what do you feel comfortable with? Does it give you the functionality that you want? You know, and if you don't know, rather than having a week or a month of indecision, just download one, try it out. If you don't like it, then get rid of it and go get another one. I mean, I really believe, you know, and I think that sometimes when people hear me say things like that, they go, wow, what a flippant attitude towards the tools that you use in the business. And let me say this, I think that's okay, because, you know, there's a phrase out there, and I don't know who said it first, but, you know, fail fast. And the thing is, one of the things that we really see in internet marketing is that people spend so much time trying to do it perfect the first time around. They end up spending a year or 2 or 3 trying to figure it out, and they're never making any money. And you see other people that go in there, they try lots of things, they figure out right away what they don't like, they're left with what does, they do it, and maybe they're making money in 30 to 60 days. Which one's better? To make lots of mistakes and get to whatever your goal is, whether it's profit or whether it's, you know, helping people or whatever your goal is, or to try to do it all perfect and never make any mistakes, and all of it takes a lot longer. So this is the one that I'm going to use here, and we click here, and there's a button here. If we just click download, then it will populate in your downloads. And so what we'll do is, and I cheated, I've already downloaded it, but I'm going to show you that it's there. And the reason I'm not doing the physical download live is that it takes a little time. Okay, and so this is the zip file right here, and then what I did was I copied it into my WordPress folder on my computer, and right in here we've got it. There it is, WordPress SEO. I unzipped it, it's right here. The zip, I unzipped it, and it's right here. So then the next step, that we're going to go to. I've shown you this before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I come over here, and if we, this is FileZilla, the right side where you see the cursor, that's my server. The left side is my computer, and this is the file on my computer, WordPress SEO. Okay, now if you double click on WordPress content on the right, you'll see a folder that says plugins. You're going to double click on plugins, and you're going to drag WordPress SEO over here to the right. I've already shown you how to do it, and again, for uploading purposes, I've already done this. It takes a few minutes to upload, and it's just all I do is just drag it across from the left to the right. I've shown you how to do it already, so I thought it would be easiest to just have it there. Okay, so now that it's there, what we want to do now is to log into our WordPress site. So this is the one I built for this business, infoprofitdaily.com. Okay, and then I'm actually logged in. I'm going to log out so that you can see what it looks like to log in. I don't know if I've demonstrated this yet, so we just click on log in. I click log in. Okay, now I'm going to go down here to plugins. Okay, and you're going to be able to see it says WordPress SEO. See the button says activate. I'm going to click on activate. Okay, and now it is activated. And so what that means is that if we put a new post in here, let's just show how it works. Okay, so I'm going to add a new post. Let's do sample SEO post. With this post, I am simply showing how an SEO plugin will make the URL look for search engine purposes. To your success, Sean. Okay, and I'm going to click publish. And actually you can see it. It's called a permalink. You see this link says sample SEO post. Okay, I'm going to click on get short link. This is the short link. That's what it would look like. But see, this doesn't really give Google any information. We want Google to have some information. We want them to see that this is about sample SEO post. Okay. Now, see, what we can also do down here with this SEO tool is we can create a keyword for this. So we could have sample SEO post could be our keyword. And then the title display in search engines, what do we want that to be? How about sample SEO post? How about a meta description that says example of a sample SEO post and I'm going to leave that next one blank because if we clicked here it would tell us all what we're going to do there, and I'm just not going to do it. Okay, and then I believe if we click update, then what it'll do is update everything that we just did right there. And now, okay, so what this is doing is this is going to show me how optimized this post is for Google. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like in Google, or close to it anyway. The focus heading, my focus keyword is found in the article heading, the page title, the page URL. It's not found in the content. So let's add it to the content. If we're going to do this for SEO purposes, let's add it to the content. This is a sample SEO post. Let's even add some more. Why is a sample SEO post important? The reason is that sometimes it is easier to understand something if you can see it in action. So I decided to put it in action. I encourage you to optimize your own posts using an SEO plugin so that you can get the most traction out of your SEO work. Obviously, in addition to on-page optimization, which is what this is really about, you also need an inbound linking strategy. One of the best ways to get quality inbound links is through article and content writing and posting online. So now this is our now we've really updated this post. Okay, and it's pretty much optimized for search engine purposes. You'll see that down here. All these things say yes. So if we were to do a little if we were to do some inbound linking to this page, we could probably find it coming up in Google the next few days for the keyword sample SEO post. Okay. Probably not going to do that live, but it's something that you could do. Okay, so that pretty much ends the explanation on, we've uploaded and installed the WordPress SEO plugin. I've shown you how the plugin works. And if we go to the front page of the site, you're going to see this is now on the front page. Okay. And if you click through, then you'll be able to see it. So that was the whole point of showing you this. So let's go ahead and sign off. Hello folks, Sean Mize here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install a squeeze page and sales page plugin. Okay, now, obviously, you can use the same process for finding a plugin. You can go to Google and search squeeze page plugin for WordPress, or WordPress squeeze page plugin, or WordPress sales page plugin. I've already done that, and I've chosen one that I like, and I've purchased it. And if you scroll down to the bottom of your page, then I've actually set up a link. Because it's a purchase, I've set it up as an affiliate link. You can go directly to it if you want, or you can search and find one that you like. Okay, so what I did was I obviously scrolled down here and I clicked here and I purchased it. Okay, once I purchased it, I downloaded it. I was given some access instructions, and then I moved it to my WordPress folder on my website. And it's in this folder. The zip file is right here. I actually unzipped it, but when looking at the directions, I don't need to. So let's go over to the directions. For it. Okay, so once I'm in, I've logged into my member area, and once I purchased it, I'm going to click on this instructions and readme document. We're just going to follow these instructions. Okay, so these are the so here's the instructions. We're just going to follow them. Download the zip file. Do not unzip it on your computer. Log into your WordPress blog area. Under plugins, click on add new. Okay, so let's follow. So at the top of the page, we'll click upload and then browse to where the zip is. So let's just follow those directions. So let's go to my blog. We'll just follow the directions they gave us. So these directions are a little different than we did for the last blog in. For the last, we click on dashboard. We'll do it exactly the way that they asked us to do it. Okay, it looks like I need to... It's like I need to delete where I've already uploaded it. I told you I did this incorrectly the first time. Okay, so now that works. I get rid of that folder. It's not a big deal. I uploaded it as a test and I did it wrong. Okay, so it shouldn't be a big issue here. I'm showing you how to do it right. So we click on Add New, just like the directions told us to. And then it said to click on Upload. And then it said to browse and find it. And I've got it in and then let's just double check. Let's just double check that it says click install now. So the instructions tell us to install now. Folks, and so let's just do it. Let's click and follow those directions. And notice, folks, I'm not doing anything outside of the directions that they give me to do it. So we're just simply following the directions they give us. While this is installing. Wow, it's already there. Okay, it says it's been installed, and for the sake of following the directions, let's make sure that it tells us to click the activate. So it says click on plugin, scroll down and click activate. Once the plug is activated, you'll be prompted to go to settings page and enter your license key. Okay, so let's go here so far. Click activate plugin. Okay, and I'm showing a fatal error here. So there's two things that we can do at this point. And one would be to go to customer service and just ask them what's going on. And another would go to using a different one. So I see what I'm going to end this recording now, and then I'll come back with the solution. Hello folks, Sean Mize here, and today in this video I'm going to let you watch me installing WordPress on the website, the infoprofitdaily.com website that we set up that we bought the domain name for a few days ago. And of course you have the videos there to show you how to get the domain name, get web hosting, and that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, just a quick reminder, I'm not a WordPress guru or anything like that. I'm a marketer, and that's what I really do. And so what I'm going to be doing here is just literally following the directions on the WordPress site, and you're going to be able to watch me do it. If you want more detailed instructions than just watching me do it, you can use the same instructions that I'm using over here at WordPress to do it. Plus, I'm also uploading videos that show you step-by-step how to use WordPress. So, just a note on that before we keep going. You're a web marketer. I mean, that's why you purchase this program. You're a web marketer, and you want to get the word out there. You want to make more money online, or whatever the case is. And there's lots of different things that you end up using in your business, whether it's WordPress or Aweber or Infusionsoft or web hosting. There's lots of different things that you end up having to have in your business. And likely, you're going to have to learn how to do each one of those well enough to make it work until your business builds to the place where you can outsource it. And it's not important that you become a guru at everything that you do. You don't need to be a WordPress guru. You don't need to be an Aweber guru. You don't need to be an Infusionsoft guru. You don't need to be a HostGator guru. You simply need to know how to do some of the basic things so that you can run your business. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do, go to WordPress.org, and if we click on this button that says download WordPress, then if we click on this button over here on the right, download WordPress, then we'll be able to download it. Now, The next step, of course, is that it downloads on your computer. I cheated for this. I downloaded it first because it takes a few minutes, and I didn't want the video to go longer. But just trust me, when you click download on here, it's really self-explanatory. It just saves it to your computer. Okay. Then what we're going to do is click over here for the handy guide, and we're just going to follow the directions in the handy guide. Okay, and you can read through the entire directions if you want to. Okay. This says things you need to do to install WordPress. So there's 5 things here. And then these are the steps. Famous 5-minute install. So let's do step number 1. Download and unzip the WordPress package. I've already done that. The next thing we've got to do is create a database for WordPress on your web servers. It melds a MySQL user as all privileges for access and modifying it. Okay, so this is these are the directions in the outline form. If we scroll down here to step 2, in the detailed instructions, it'll tell us how to do it. Okay, so it says if you're installing WordPress on your own web server, which we're doing, follow the using PHP MyAdmin instructions to do it. So if we, that's right here, which is using cPanel. Oh, if your hosting provider provides a cPanel hosting control panel, which you should get in your HostGator account, you should have cPanels all set up for you. These are the directions that we're going to do. We're going to log into cPanel, and I've already logged in. We're going to click the MySQL database wizard, and we're going to create a database, create database users, add user to database, and complete the task noting the database name and user. So let's go ahead and do it. So we'll come over here. This is my cPanel, and if we just scroll down here to MySQL database wizard, oh, I have to log in again because I haven't been on in a little while. Now I'm logged in. Now this is the database wizard. We're going to create a database, and let's call this database for class. Okay, you can call it anything you want, but I'm going to call it for class. We're doing it for this class. Okay, and just click next step. This is all menu driven, folks. Now we're going to create a username. Okay, let's call it Sean. Okay, and then we have to create a password. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, if that's okay with you. And I'm going to click Create User. There's a problem creating the user, show details, that username's taken. Okay, so I use that for a different database, and so I need to create a new username. This is probably not going to allow me to do this either, is it? Okay, so let's go back. You know what? We're going to create another one. The reason for this is I just want to make this really easy. So we're going to just call this for class 2. So there'll just be an extra database in the on the web hosting account. It's no big deal. Okay, and so we're going to say this is Sean sample. You can only have it so long, so Sean, we just call it Sean 2. We'll put the password in there. And so it reveals the password, so I'll be changing the password. Okay, so we're going to click all privileges, and we're going to click next step. Okay, that's it. So we've done it. Okay, now if we go back to our instructions, it says note the database name and the user, write down the values of the host name, username, database name, and the password you chose. Okay. And so I've written those down as well. Okay, so let's scroll back up here to the next step. So the next step is, notice up here it says, if you're not comfortable with renaming files, step 3 and 4 are optional. If it's optional, I'm skipping it. So now it says upload the WordPress files in a desired location on your web server. So we're going to upload them, and then because it'll take like 5 or 10 minutes for them to upload, I'm going to stop the video, okay, and then we'll come back to part 2, and I'll show you the rest of the install process later. However, let's go in. Now we're going to go into FileZilla. I've already taught you how to do this, okay. And so we're going to go on the right-hand side is my account at infoprofitdaily.com. The previous video showed you how to use FileZilla. Now what I'm going to do is just find where I downloaded the WordPress files, and they're right here. What we're going to do, this folder right here that has WordPress in it, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to click on one of these, and I'm going to highlight all the files because I want to move all the files over to the web server. So on a Mac, I use Command A, and that highlights them all. I forget the command for that on a PC. You should know it. If you don't, then you can just do each one of these one by one as well, or you can Google it and find it. And I'm just going to drag them over here, and you're going to see they're uploading as we speak, okay? So to save video space, we're not just going to sit here for, it takes probably about 5 minutes to make this upload. There's no sense in having 5 minutes of dead space on here. So that's it, folks. We'll go ahead and end this video, and we'll be back with part 2 here in a few minutes. Hello, folks. Sean Mize here, back for part 2 of installing WordPress. So we left it, we were uploading from the left side here, which is on my computer, to the right side in FileZilla, which is the web server. So you can see that all these files are now over here. So the next thing we're going to do, we just did step 5 according to the installing WordPress instructions from WordPress. We're going to go to step 6, run the WordPress installation script by accessing wp-admin/install.php, and that's over here. And I'm gonna allow that page to repopulate. So now what this tells us is it doesn't appear to be a wp-config.php file. I need this before we can get started. You can create the file through a web interface. This doesn't work for all server setups. Safest way is to manually create the file. Now, just let me show you, and we may have to do it, but this is steps 3 and 4. This is steps 3 and 4. I'm going to try to do it using the menu-driven thing here, and if it won't work, then we'll go do steps number 3 and 4. Okay. So we'll remember we create a database name, username, password, host, and we did not do a table prefix. If we need it, we'll do it. Okay. So if any reason this doesn't work, then you'll be able to fill in the database information in a config file. Let's just try to do it here. So we click Let's Go. Okay, and so this is the name of the database that we want it to run in. And I'm just pulling out my notes here. So it's info/for/class2. The username we used was info/prof_Sean2. And the password we used was that, localhost, and a table prefix. And I don't want to, so we'll leave that. It says if we want to change it, I'm not going to. So we'll click Submit here. All right, you've made it through this part of the installation. Run the install. So we're just going to click Run the install. Let it do its thing. Okay, notice how menu-driven this is. And now it's going to ask me for some information. Okay, please provide the information. Site title, Info Profit Daily. The username, let's go with admin. And we'll do a password. And then my email. And we'll click Install. I'm going to click Remember over here for Firefox. Your WordPress has been installed. Beautiful. Okay, so let's log in. Excellent. So this is the back office of WordPress. Okay, so what I'd like to do is take a look at what this site's going to look like. We just come in here. What's the front page of the site look like now? Okay, so it has the basic, just hello world for WordPress. Okay, so folks, that concludes the installation of WordPress. Let's take this to another step. Let's take this to another level, another place though. Okay, and let's say that we want to put a page on here. Okay, so we'll just take this to another level because that's probably what you're going to want to do, put a page on. So we want this, so let's say add a new page. Okay, and let's just call this welcome to Info Profit Daily. And we'll say hello. This is just hello, folks. The editor of Info Profit Daily, where you can get daily updates to help you build your info business fast. Okay, and we scroll down here. We could do a preview. Let's do a preview. So there's the post. So let's click publish. So it'll show on the live site. Okay. And I'm gonna take off this featured image. And refresh this page. Our link is there. Okay, so the current theme that we have right now is this one here. And I'm going to click on header here. And I'm going to take this off. I'm just going to remove the header image. And let's take a look at the site again. So now we go right into Info Profit Daily, and we can make changes on all of this. In fact, with one of the plugins we are. So folks, that's going to conclude the installation of WordPress. And keep in mind that if you didn't want to do anything more to your website, I mean, you didn't want to add any more plugins, it'd be pretty easy to come in here and make additional changes. So you can spend some time kind of floating around saying, hey, what do we want in here and what do we not want in here? Right here in comments, we can delete the comment section, and we'll be able to get rid of this section here. So here's what we want to do. I just want to set this on we're going to unapprove all comments. Okay. Okay, and folks, you can just literally go through here, each one of these things, and kind of learn how to do things. You can go to settings and tools, and I just encourage you to do that. Kind of scroll through here, get a feel for, so for example, we could change the date format from what we have September 20th now to any one of these. We could change the time format, etc., etc. So if you scroll through each of these links, you'll be able to easily get a feel for what you're able to do with your WordPress site if you don't have one. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this out. This is all you really need for the purpose of having your website up and running with WordPress. So I don't want to belabor it and go into a lot of things that we don't need, but you can spend some time in here kind of hunting around and kind of decide what kind of changes you want. You can also download different themes that will allow your website, allow your WordPress website to look different, and that's one of the things that we'll be doing in one of the following videos. Again, WordPress is not my specialty. My specialty is marketing, and your specialty is whatever your niche is. So if you don't fully understand WordPress, what I've just shown you is about all that you really need to know. So let's go ahead and log off of this, and we'll see you on the next video. Hello folks, Sean Mize here, and in these next few videos I'm going to let you watch me uploading and installing WordPress and a couple of key plugins to use with the new website. So let me just kind of give you some background on what we're going to do. Number one, like I said in the earlier video where I showed you how you can create a squeeze page just using Aweber, if you don't want or need to have content on a website, you don't need to follow these videos. Okay, also if you want to use some other kind of software besides WordPress, then again, if it's something that you're comfortable with, you don't need to use WordPress to follow through with this project. Okay, so keep in mind that this project, your sales are going to occur through your emails, not through your website. However, I have decided to include creating a website in this program because I know that some people want to have a website, and I want this program to be as complete as possible. So what I'm going to do in the next few videos, and I'm breaking this down into several videos because that way if you just need to look at one thing, you're able to go watch it. We're going to do a couple of different things. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to download WordPress. I'm going to upload it to a live website, and we're going to install it and get it ready to go. You're going to be able to see me do it. I'm also going to install an SEO plugin to make the website a little bit more SEO friendly. It's not something that's necessary to do, but I am going to do it just to show you because it's something that I'm going to put on my own website. And then I'm also going to upload some squeeze page, sales page plugin that allows you to create a WordPress page that just looks like a regular sales page or a squeeze page on some other website. And we're going to do that so that we can create a squeeze page. So one last note on this intro video here, and that is to say that I am simply going to be allowing you to watch me do the work myself. These videos are not going to really be teaching videos. There are several places where you can learn exactly how to do it. Number one is the WordPress.org website. There's full instructions on how to do anything that you need to do. Okay, number one. Number two, if you choose to purchase the squeeze page, sales page software that I use, there's full instructions in there on how to use it. Also, I have included in this program a number of videos, professional videos showing you how to do each step in WordPress. So I'm not going to duplicate all of that energy. I'm simply going to allow you to watch me doing it. Okay? So think of this as more of a look over my shoulder type of thing rather than precise instructions. In fact, you'll notice that when I install the WordPress itself, I'm going to use WordPress's website as the directions. And I'm going to be following those instructions the same way that you would be. Keep in mind, I'm not a professional WordPress person. I'm not a professional web designer. Okay, I'm a marketer. And as a marketer, sometimes I do my own work. For example, install WordPress. Okay, now, there's two ways that you can do it. Number one is you can learn how to do it, and you learn as much as you need. You don't need to be a professional WordPress person or a professional web designer to run a marketing business. But unless you're going to outsource the work, you need to know how to do a few basic things. And that's what I know. I know how to do a few basic things. And when I don't know how to do something, I have to use directions, and you'll do exactly the same thing. So, folks, let's go ahead and close this video out. And on the next one, you'll see me install WordPress on my website. Hello, folks. Sean Mize here, and I'm back to show you how to use the Squeeze Page plugin. And I'm just going to create a quick squeeze page here in the dashboard. And let me say this, that when you purchase it, it does come with full instructions on how to do it. I encourage you to use those instructions. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create a new squeeze page. We go here to Pages. And internet's just a little slow right now, so we come over here to Pages, and we'll click on the Add New Page. And I'm going to name this Squeeze Page. You don't want to leave it that way. I'll change it later, but just so that we have it here. Okay. And then I'm going to come down here and fill out the information that I want here. So discover the secrets of building your own profitable information business. That's going to be my headline. My sub-headline is going to be daily email newsletter full of tips each day. You can see they're pre-populating, so you saw I practiced before I came and did this live. So the sub-headline, font, family, and body text, I'm just going to leave it the same. You can change it. My opt-in provider is Aweber, so I'm going to use my Aweber username, which is, okay, and then we're also going to use the name, the list name, which is one info profit entry. So one info profit entry. And then I'm also going to send people to this page, which is the thank you page for the opt-in, and then an error thank you page as well. That's going to go to Marlin's traffic product, I think. Okay. And that should be everything that we need there. And then we're going to click Save Draft. And let's click on Preview Page. And something went wrong, so let's come back in here and see if we can determine what went wrong. Everything seems to be in there. So let's just choose choose one of these and save draft. There we go. So that's our squeeze page so far. You know what, let's go in and edit this squeeze page. We want some more content in the squeeze page. So let's see, see if we change the template. We can add in, what I'd love to add in is a little content, some body text content, and I'll tell you the last time that here we go, text above opt-in is optional. So let's do something like this: discover in this daily e-letter, you will discover personal secrets for increasing your productivity online. Methods for inbound linking. Remember we did, you'll see that we did the first article. Methods for inbound linking that change your SEO rankings fast. And how about how to write power articles to get traffic fast. Okay, and again, this is just an example. We'll probably improve this over time based on conversion rates and that kind of thing. We'll probably do see daily email newsletter full of tips each day. Let's run with this right now. We'll click Save Draft. Hit Preview. Okay, and so remember we changed this to 2 columns. So let's go back to the 1 column view. And just notice how versatile this is. I mean, you can really play around with it and have different columns, have multiple columns, and you can insert pictures and that kind of thing. Okay, so it looks like we're going to need to put some breaks in there. See if this will take HTML. So if it will, we'll use let's see if the HTML works or it just shows up. And I'll tell you folks, sometimes the easiest way to find these things out is just to try them just like I'm doing right now. Okay, and this is a similar process to what you'll be doing when you're building yours. So it doesn't take the HTML right there. So we'll simply just take that out. Let's try also a hard break and see if that makes a difference. If not, we'll live with the squeeze page the way it is now. So that didn't make a difference. Let's try something else here. Craziest thing, folks, is I thought for sure when I did the test one, there was a link, there was a box for body text, and maybe something to add later on. But I think right now we'll just leave that off, and we'll save it. Let's go ahead and publish this. And if we publish it, we should be able to view the page. And this is our new squeeze page. Now let's go ahead and opt into our new squeeze page. So I don't know that I've opted in on this campaign yet, so but let's just do it. Let's opt in and let's just see what happens. I'm going to get instant access. And of course this is going to get me on the list, so I'll be receiving emails. And sure enough, I'm pointed over to Marlin's traffic program, and maybe I'll make a few sales as people click through there. So that's the whole idea. So folks, this concludes the discussion on how to create your squeeze page right there in WordPress using that squeeze page tool. And there's a lot of functionality there that we haven't explored. And I'll leave that to you to just kind of play around with, you know, make one with each of the different templates and see, hey, how does this affect it? How does this make the template look different? How does it make this look different? Can I play around with font sizes, etc., and what you can do in there. So anyway, folks, we'll go ahead and close this out. Hello, folks. Sean Mize here, and now we're getting to the good stuff. We're going to begin working on content and email generation. Now in this video we probably won't get to actually writing any emails, but I anticipate doing that in the next couple emails. So what I want to do now is kind of talk about what is content and how we can find it, get it, use it, create it, etc., etc. So a bit of a candid discussion here. I'm going to hopefully give you some examples, etc., etc. So what is content? Well, content online, without going into, you know, a stiff definition, content online is things that people can see that you have and they can read it. So content could be an article that you find online. Content could be a blog post. Content could be a forum posting. Content could be a web page posting. Content could even be an ebook or a PDF. If you think about it, content could also be a physical book that you pick up in the bookstore. Content could be an email. So, and really we're only talking here about written content. You know, you could also have spoken content. You could have video content like this is. So content is various ways that people are able to hear from you, that you're able to communicate to them. So it could be articles, it could be blog posts, it could be emails. So the question then is, how do you choose content ideas? Now, obviously, we're assuming that you have a niche idea, and for the purpose of this training, you are going to be selling by sending out emails that contain content. However, we're building a real business here, so the business is probably going to have more than just emails. It's probably going to have blog posts, it's probably going to have articles, and it's probably even going to write a book. Hey, now, all of those other things are not necessary for the strict interpretation of the business I'm building, which is email. However, let me ask you this. If we can find a way to multi-purpose everything that we do so that you end up with more than just a bunch of emails going out that are making you money, what if you could also write articles and blog posts and write a book all at the same time? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a method of being able to do all of that. Okay? And the way that I do it with my clients is I have them do what's called a 10 by 10 matrix. I'm going to give you an example of a 10 by 10 matrix. Okay? I'm not going to write out an entire matrix, and I'm also going to do it in a different niche so that it's easy for you to apply to your niche. Okay? Because if I do it in the niche we're doing for this business, then it just might be more difficult. So let's say that the niche that you are going to go into is Whole Foods. Okay, so our 10 by 10 matrix, I'm just going to do like a 3 by 4 matrix, but a 10 by 10 matrix would have 10 topics. We're going to use 4. We're going to do a 4 by 4. The sample is going to be a 4 by 4, but for your business, you're going to do a 10 by 10. Okay, so under Whole Foods, you could have Introduction to Whole Foods. You could have Classes of Whole Foods. You could have Whole Food Vegetables, and you could have Whole Food Fruits. Okay, now, if you were to keep going and do a full 10 by 10, then, you know, 5 could be the nutritional aspects of Whole Foods. 6 could be chicken Whole Foods. You know, 7 could be meat Whole Foods. 8 could be supplementation with Whole Foods, and so on. Okay, now, under Introduction to Whole Foods, we're going to have 4 ideas. So we'll just call them A, B, C, and D. So A is what are Whole Foods? Okay. B is how many kinds of Whole Foods are there? C is what are, let's say, I don't know all about Whole Foods, so I'm just, let's say, how does supplementation affect Whole Foods? We'll call it Whole Food Diet. Okay, now, if I was writing a book on this, I'd just keep going, and I would make it literally a 10 by 10. Okay, this is 4 by 4, so you see 4 topics with 4 sub-ideas. So what are the classes of Whole Foods? Maybe we've got vegetables, fruits. Okay, I have no idea if chicken is a whole food, but we're just going to call it that. Okay. Fish, because this is just imaginary. Okay, these are the classes, and then Now we have, so whole food vegetables. So we could have maybe a cruciferous vegetables. How about root vegetables? I don't even know if these are appropriate classes, but I'm just throwing them in here so that we have a 4x4. Okay, so we have root vegetables. How about leafy vegetables? And what's one more kind of vegetables? Carrot type vegetables. So I'm thinking about the ones that have like, I don't even know what that's called, the pigmentation that gives it. So there's a few different, I think there's a few different vegetables that are in that class. And then we have whole food fruits. So we might have, again, I don't really know this, we could have tree fruits, right? We could have vine fruits. We could have flavonoid fruits. And how about one more? We could have, what's another kind of fruit? Let's just call them ground fruits. I don't know if there are ground fruits or not, but here we have a 4x4. Actually, with 2 we have 5, but we have 4x4. We have 16 ideas here. Okay, so you do this for your niche. I'm not going to do a live one for my niche that I'm doing, because I've done so many of them before that it's going to be, and plus I'm really kind of, I feel like I'm giving you one extra step, because I'm not going to try to write a book for this niche. I'm not going to try to write a bunch of articles for this niche. I'm just using an email campaign. But I want you to be able to, because I have other businesses, I want you to be able to totally develop yours out. And if you do this 10x10 matrix, you'll really be able to build yours out. So what could we do with this 4x4 matrix? What if we were to write a page of information about an introduction? A page about whole foods, a page about how many kinds, a page about supplementation. And if you were an expert in whole foods, you ought to be able to write a page about vegetables, a page about fruits. Now with 4x4, that gives us 16 topics. If we were to write a page on each one, we'd have a 16-page, we couldn't really call it a book, I guess, with 16 pages, but we'd have a little booklet or a pamphlet, right? We could use this as our squeeze page giveaway. Now let's take this to the next level. Imagine if we did 10x10, and so instead of 4 ideas with 4 sub-ideas, we had 10 ideas with 10 sub-ideas, and we wrote 1 page on each idea. We'd have a 100-page book, wouldn't we? Okay, now, what if we were to use each one of these topics as an email topic? So one email would be introduction to whole foods. One email would be about what are whole foods. One email would be about how many kinds of whole foods are out there. And if this was a 10x10, this would give us 100 ideas in your niche for your email campaign. Just 1 email a day with one of these topics here. Okay. What if you were to take out of those 100 emails, you were to submit 50 of those emails, the content of it, as articles to eZine Articles? What if you were to put 50 of them on your website under blog posts? Okay, now notice out of 100, I'm saying 50 and 50. I don't like to put the same content on my site as I submit to eZine Articles. I just don't like to. Okay, there's a bunch of search engine reasons for that. Please just take my word for it. It's outside the scope of this training, and just take my word. You don't want the same content. So what you could do is you could put 1 email as a blog post, and I'm going to model this for you later, but you could put 1 email as a blog post on your website, put another email as an article at eZine Articles, and then have backlinks going to your blog posts. Okay. Now you might say, well, what if somebody reads the article and then they get this same email? Aren't they going to feel like there's some duplication? Well, yeah, but the odds of somebody reading all 50 of your articles and then all 50 of your blog posts and reading all 100 of your email posts are just so slim it's not even funny. Okay? And the few people that do, they're the people that just really want a lot of information from you. They're probably your buyers anyway. So just don't worry about it. Let me just say that. Let's just don't worry about it. Okay? So what if somebody reads 3 articles, 3 blog posts, and out of 100 emails they're going to get 6 that they've already read? it really doesn't matter. They're going to get 94 that they have not read. Okay, so how do we research content? Okay, by the way, your action, your action step from what I'm sharing with you right now should be to go create your own 10 by 10 matrix. And on this video page, beneath it, I've created a link to a 10 by 10 matrix guide to help you in more detail create your own 10 by 10 matrix. Okay. Now let's talk about researching content. How do you research content? Well, there's a number of different ways. Let's just say that your niche is, let's say it's Whole Foods. Okay? How would you research Whole Foods? Well, there's two different ways. One, you can go to a bookstore, a local bookstore, and buy some books on Whole Foods. One, you could do online research. Or three, you could go to an online bookstore. Okay? So let's say that we were going to do some research on Whole Foods. We would just go to Google or Yahoo or wherever you go and research Whole Foods. Okay, so if we go to, here is in Wikipedia, here's a whole bunch of information about Whole Foods, and it sends you down a line. It says, go look at natural foods. And then in natural foods, there's a whole bunch of information in natural foods. Okay, it gives you the definitions. And then whole food supplements. You could probably do all your research right here. Look at this, all of these ideas. So every time, right here in Wikipedia, just keep clicking, you get more and more ideas. You could write an article on every one of these ideas, couldn't you? Maybe not here, but under whole grains, for example. You could write an article on wheat. You could write an article on oat. You could write an article on barley. You could write an article on maize. You could write an article on brown rice. Look at this. You could write articles on teff flour and popcorn and triticale flour and rolled oats and groats and pasta and bread and whole wheat flour and white rice. You say, well, what would I do? Let's click on white rice. Look. Could you not read this and then write an article that goes into more detail by clicking on this parboiled rice and learning all about parboiled rice? This is where you can do your research. Okay. Now another way to do research is go to ezinearticles.com and look up Whole Foods. Little spelling error. Okay. So there's an article here on whole food supplements. Okay. You could read this article, learn all about it, close the article, write your own. You could go to an online bookstore and buy books about Whole Foods. Let me ask you this. If you were to do research for 20 minutes a day for a month on your new topic, would you not start to know a lot about your topic? I mean, you could start out from scratch right now with no niche, with no knowledge, and in 30 days spending 20 minutes. Look, we only spent just now 2 minutes or 3 minutes Googling, and look how much information you were able to see. Now, we didn't read it all, but if you're serious about building a business, you might as well just learn the topic. Okay. Another way is to find guest writers. Okay, so you could go over to, there's a few different websites where you could hire writers. Okay, so you've got freelancer.com, you've got elance.com. Okay, and let's just mosey on over there and see. I'm just going to show you. We're not going to hire somebody, obviously. Okay, but what would happen if you went over to freelancer.com and you said, hey, I need a guest writer? Okay, there's a couple of different things that you could do. You know what? Let's go to Elance instead. You can go over to freelancer.com yourself and kind of poke around there. Let's go here and click on Find Talent. So elance.com, we click on Find Talent. And let's browse. So if we browse, we want to search contractors. So let's go into writers. Search article writers. Okay, these are all the different article writers. Apparently there's 40,000 article writers at registered to Elance. Okay, so this person, Words You Want, is an article writer. They have 1,300 positive feedbacks, and they've sold over $700,000 in writing and translation. Okay, so you click on that, you read about this person, their job history. Okay, they've done 1,000 jobs. They've gotten 4.9 recommendation. 97% would recommend them again. Okay, let's see. Sometimes these sites will tell you how much that they want to be paid. Okay, it tells you all about what they do, and then you can contact them. Contact or post a job. Now you can also post jobs where you say, hey, I need somebody to write 10 articles and bid. But this is a convenient way because you look at this and you can really find the best of the best. You can click contact, and then you can send them a instant message or however it works. So each of the websites is different. Okay, so that's how you can find guest writers. Okay, or you can write your own content. I'm going to share that with you, how to do that in a different video. Okay, so I've shared with you how you're going to have your big picture. You're going to write a 10 by 10 matrix first, so that all of the articles that you write, once you've written 100 articles, you'll basically have written a book. And then you can publish that as an ebook for sale. You could make it into a physical book for sale, whatever you want to do. And you could maybe make a 10 by 15 or 20 by 20 and have a 400-page book when you're all done. Okay, I hope you're getting the ease and the clarity of writing with intent. So instead of just writing a random email every day, write yourself an outline and then work from that outline. So that's one way to do it. Okay, a few other ways that you can do it. One is to write with an affiliate product in mind. Okay, that's probably what I'm going to do for real when I do this campaign. It's not the way I do all campaigns, but because that's been the focus of this training, that's probably what I'm going to do. And when we get to it, I'll show you. Okay, and the way that you would do this is you would say, okay, I want to promote a certain affiliate product. Maybe you want to promote Marlon Sanders' traffic program. And so then you would say, okay, you go get Marlon Sanders' traffic program. You see I think there's 17 different traffic sources. You could write one article a day on each traffic source. And then at the end of the article, you could say, hey, if you like this content, you'll love Marlon Sanders' traffic program. Click here to take a look at it. And then some people will buy it. Okay, do you see how easy that is? Okay, I wrote this down right with the topic in mind. I mean, obviously, if you're writing from a 10 by 10, you'll be writing with the topic in mind. This write with complete picture in mind, this is the idea that all you have to do is write from one 10 by 10 matrix. And when you're done, you'll have a 100-page book. You'll have 100 articles or blog posts. So let's say, for example, 50 articles and 50 blog posts. And you'll have 50 emails in your email campaign. You liking this, folks? You liking this? Excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and close this out. Again, your assignment to follow through with this is to create your own 10 by 10 matrix in your own business. Let's go ahead and we'll close this out now. We'll see you next time.